So now that those 30 questions that I answered are all behind me, I just wanted to do a little bit of a recap on this month, because it was a good month. For particularly the filming process was really, really nice. And there were a lot of challenges to it also. The biggest challenge, I think, was finding new, insightful things to say in every individual video, which I mentioned before. You find, as you talk about a lot of topics of spirituality, that they're all interwoven, which is funny because, the whole message of spirituality is you are one with everything. Well, all these concepts of spirituality are one with each other. A lot of my answers fundamentally came down to the same thing. But that was kind of nice. I mean, the challenge presented a new insight to me, which is that I'm allowed to repeat myself from one video to the next. Isn't that a great, wonderful freedom to now have? I can repeat myself. Of course, I was always allowed to repeat myself. I feel like I just didn't give myself mental permission, and I'm still working on it now. But yeah, that's really cool. I had to face the repetition to just be like, that's a part of making videos. Another thing about this month is that, as I said before, I have felt very pretentious about talking about spirituality. The word spirituality itself makes me cringe a little bit, even though it is so important to me. But getting it out there, man. Just getting it out there. Just being like, hey, if I'm pretentious, and people can watch or not. People can appreciate what I say or not. And that is okay. Because I think that whether or not somebody agrees with me or thinks that I have valuable insights. Of course, there are all these imaginary critics in my head. Nobody's even said anything mean in this entire month. But, regardless of other people's opinion, I think that it's very clear to everybody that it is important to me. And it's something I'm passionate about. And to be passionate is very vulnerable and sometimes embarrassing. Takes a lot of bravery to be passionate. And I was only brave on maybe a minor scale, but it was a demon I had to battle every time that I sat down. I would read the question and I'd immediately be like, oh, how do I say this in a not pretentious way? As if being pretentious is like the worst thing ever. I love there's a video where Ethan Hawke talks about how we should try to make things that are pretentious. I'd rather err on the side of pretentious than err on the side of rote, boring, I would rather say things that are very passionate, perhaps misguided, perhaps corny, perhaps not original. Than just settle for my baseline. I don't even know what my baseline is because I feel like I never settle for my baseline ever. I'm such a weirdo. What did I get out of this month? Just some really sharpened ideas. Really sharpened ideas on things. Like things that I already kind of knew or could intuit but didn't quite have the words to elucidate fully before. And believe me, I mean, I've said this so many times. I love listening to myself talk. I love listening to myself talk. And I make these videos probably more for me than anybody else. Like even in the hypothetical where I get millions of people interested in me, I feel like nobody will listen to me nearly as much as I do. I mean, if they do, that person is a stan and I respect them, but, I got to be cautious of those people. But it's been fun listening back to myself because even though they're my own ideas, I listen to me talk about my own ideas, and suddenly those ideas are sharper. It's like I learn from myself, and obviously I learn from lots of other people too. I mean, I'm not the only spiritual authority in the world. Please don't have me be the only spiritual authority in your world. Please. Find somebody else as well. You can listen to me too, but find someone else as well. But yeah, isn't that interesting? You can learn from yourself. And sometimes I listen to old videos that, I made 3 or 4 years ago. And I learned something from those too. That's kind of cool. It's like, hey, that's an idea that I talked about and I kind of forgot about. Maybe I didn't even think that much about the video after I made it. But then I listened to it again. I'm like, hey, that's cool. I like how you said that. 2019, Joe. I really wish that you would calm the heck down when you're on screen and stop trying to put up such a persona, but, you know, you're all right. You're pretty all right. And I think that's another thing, is that by having the question-answer format, it's given me a bit of structure, which, like, it creates sort of like a fence post or goal post within which I can freely ramble. I'm like, as long as I'm kind of sticking to this sort of theme, I'll just talk and not be so worried about, where exactly I'm going with this. If I give some shred of an answer to the question, then I've, fulfilled the purpose of the video. And I love just spewing out spiritual jargon, and I love listening to that stuff, and I feel like I'm getting pretty good at it. Today, while I was walking, I had a revelation that, like, hey, I feel like my videos are kind of getting into the good shareable territory for the first time. And I'm still uncomfortable even saying that, and I have such imposter syndrome at the idea of anybody wanting to listen to me on a consistent basis. But I think that you can really feel the passion that I have for this topic. And we love to experience people who are passionate about things. So it's just really exciting. I don't know what I'm going to do with this channel from here on. I'm going to do something. You're going to see a new video tomorrow. But as I'm filming this, I don't know what it's going to be. That's the beauty, right? That's the beauty. We're just making it up as it goes along. Please comment something. I need topics.